When people talk about the best MMORPGs, you usually hear the same names over and over: World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy XIV, Black Desert Online. But there's one game that often gets overlooked, despite doing so many things right: Guild Wars 2. Released in 2012 by ArenaNet, Guild Wars 2 is an MMORPG that broke away from a lot of the traditional MMO mechanics and created something truly unique. Yet, for some reason, it didn't manage to reach the same level of popularity as its competitors. So, in this video, we're going to break down why Guild Wars 2 is one of the most underrated MMORPGs of all time and why you should seriously consider giving it a shot. Let's start with what makes Guild Wars 2 stand out. Unlike most MMOs that rely on static questing systems where you accept a quest, complete it, and return to an NPC, Guild Wars 2 introduces dynamic events. These events happen in real time all across the world, and players can simply jump in and participate without needing to pick up a quest first. This makes the world feel alive and constantly evolving, rather than just being a checklist of tasks. The combat is also a major highlight. While many MMORPGs stick to the traditional tab targeting system, Guild Wars 2 offers a more action-oriented combat style. You can dodge attacks, switch weapons mid-fight, and use environmental objects as weapons. It's fluid, engaging, and rewards skillful play rather than just relying on gear stats. And speaking of gear, that's another thing Guild Wars 2 does differently. Unlike most MMOs where you're just grinding for higher item levels, Guild Wars 2 uses horizontal progression. This means that once you reach the best gear, there's no need to replace it every expansion. Instead of endless gear treadmills, the game focuses on expanding your build options, mastering different playstyles, and exploring new content without feeling forced into a grind. One of the most underrated aspects of Guild Wars 2 is its mount system. Most MMOs treat mounts as nothing more than a speed boost, but in Guild Wars 2, every mount has unique movement abilities that help you navigate the world in different ways. The Raptor can leap across large gaps, the Springer can jump incredibly high, the Skimmer can hover over water, and the Griffin allows for aerial movement. Mounts aren't just a way to get from point A to point B, they're an extension of gameplay itself. And with the introduction of the Skyscale, a fully functional flying dragon mount, exploration in Guild Wars 2 feels better than any other MMO out there. Guild Wars 2 has some of the best competitive modes in the genre. The game offers both structured PvP, which features team-based battles with balanced stats, and World vs. World, a massive war where 3 servers battle over territory in an open-world battlefield. The World vs. World is a completely different experience from anything else in other games. Hundreds of players clash in sieges, capture fortresses, and fight for control of entire maps. It's chaotic, strategic, and one of the few MMO modes where large-scale warfare actually feels fun. So with all of these great features, why isn't Guild Wars 2 more popular? Well, there are a few reasons. First, the game doesn't follow the usual MMORPG way of constant gear progression and endgame raids. A lot of MMO players are used to grinding for better loot as the main reason to keep playing, but Guild Wars 2 focuses more on exploration, mastery, and fast combat. This turns away some players who expect traditional gear-based endgames. Second, Guild Wars 2 has always had a weird approach to monetization compared to its competitors. It's like I don't know if it's a pay-to-win or not. The game is buy-to-play with no subscription, meaning ArenaNet doesn't have the same revenue as subscription-based MMOs. This also means they don't have massive marketing budgets, so Guild Wars 2 often gets overshadowed by games with bigger advertising campaigns. Another reason is that many people simply don't realize how much the game has evolved over the years. Guild Wars 2 has released multiple expansions, including Heart of Thorns, Path of Fire, End of Dragons, and Secrets of the Obscure, each adding new elite specializations, storylines, and gameplay mechanics. But because it's been around for so long, many people assume it's an old game that hasn't changed much, which couldn't be further from the truth. Despite being over a decade old, Guild Wars 2 continues to provide for its community. The game offers something for everyone, whether you love open-world exploration, challenging raids, casual story-driven content, or hardcore PvP. If you're looking for an MMORPG that's different from the usual, doesn't force you into a subscription, and actually respects your time as a player, Guild Wars 2 is absolutely worth checking out. At the end of the video, I'd love to hear your thoughts and which MMO are you playing right now? Let's talk about it in the comments. And if you found this video helpful, drop a like, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for more MMO content.